Good morning, you guys. Happy Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. I hope you guys have been having a fantastic week, and I'm actually super excited for today's lesson because it kind of puts together a lot of things that we've been working on. So, we know that characters are the people and animals in our story, right? And we know that the events are the things that happen in the story, right? So, characters change throughout our story. We will often have a character at the beginning of the story, and at the end of the story, they might be looking or feeling totally different. And this is because the events that happen to them throughout the story change the characters. And we can see how those characters change by how they respond or what they do in response to that event or challenge. So, when we have a character response, it's what the character does because of something that happens in the story. So, because of an event. A challenge is something that causes a problem for the character, and the character has to solve it. And when the character solves a problem, that is the character's response. It's what they are doing in response to the challenge or event that's happening. So, for example, down here, I have a little girl and she's having a big problem. Her problem is that it's so hot that no one wants to go play with her outside. That's such a bummer. She really wants to go play outside, but it's way too hot. And it's too hot for her to go outside too. But she's going to respond to this challenge with a solution. We know that a solution is how a character solves a problem, right? And Julie's solution is that she decides to go jump in the ice cold pool. So it was too hot for her to go play outside, and she responded to that by going and jumping in the pool. And that was a perfect solution because now it's not too hot for her to go outside. So we know that we had an event and then we had a response. So the response is always going to come after the event. So the event happens and then the response follows. And so these characters change throughout the story by responding and problem solving after challenges happen. So today we are going right back to Happy Birthday Surprise, and we are going to use the book, and we have been thinking about, we put ourselves in the character's shoes and we thought about what we might do if we were Abel in the book. And today we're actually going to be looking about what Abel actually does. How does he respond to those challenges or events that happen to him in the story? What is his response? How does he solve problems? How does he fix things? What does he do? What does he say? So we have another chart here, but it looks different than the one we did yesterday. The one we did yesterday was all about events, and then we put ourselves in the character's shoes, and we thought about what the character might be thinking, or what we might be thinking if we were the character, or if we were Abel. So today, it's a little bit different. We have the events over here, and then we're going to be reading the words and looking at how the character responds to those events. So we're going to stop. We're going to read. First, you're going to read Happy Birthday Surprise. Then you're going to stop at each event in the chart. So these are the events that we're going to be wanting to stop at and think. Abel cleans his house, but the dust makes him sneeze. He has trouble putting the bow on the gift. His friend Chester arrives early. He burns the cake, and he asks Chester for help. So at each of those events, when you get to those in the story, you're going to stop and you're going to think about how the character responds to that. What do they do after? Immediately following the event, what does the character do? And the response comes right after the challenge or event. So let's do the first one together, you and me. So the first event was that Abel cleans his house, but the dust was making him sneeze. Achoo! And when I was reading, I saw that he stopped cleaning. After he started sneezing, he wasn't really cleaning anymore. He stopped cleaning to bake the cake. I can even go back and I can read right here. Achoo! Sneezed Abel. Achoo! Achoo! It was already past noon. Oh dear, he had to bake the cake, and he quickly mixed the eggs and flour and sugar in the bowl. So, when Abel cleaned the house and the dust was making him sneeze, he responded to that by stopping cleaning to bake the cake. That's what happened immediately after he was cleaning the house and sneezing from the dust. The next event was that Abel had trouble putting the bow on the gift, and we remember we put ourselves in Abel's shoes yesterday, and we were like, that's really frustrating. But we know that Abel responded to that problem, but he kept trying. That was his response. He just kept trying to put the bow on, and eventually he was able to. So the event was that he had trouble putting the bow on the gift, and Abel responded to that event by keeping trying to put the bow on. He persevered. He kept trying and trying and trying. He pushed through. So the challenge was that he had trouble putting the bow on the gift, and the response was that he kept trying to put the bow on. And you guys are going to do this for the next 3 events. So how did Abel respond to Chester arriving early? How did Abel respond to burning the cake? And how did Abel respond when he asked Chester for help? You guys are going to do great with this because you've read the story so many times. You know exactly what happens and how Abel responds, but I want you to pay really close attention to the words. Find those events in the story and look right after, and you'll find how the character or how Abel responds to those events. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Get outside. The weather's been great. It's been cooling down a little bit. So I hope you guys are able to get outside and play today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I can't wait to see you guys.